Let's see if this is working here. Seems to be. Hey, Perry, how's it going? Just testing to see if this works on my kind of underpowered MacBook here. So you might want to just give me an idea if I'm looking okay and if you can hear me okay. Hey, Ben, how's it going? How's it going tonight? Just testing my older MacBook here to see if I can do this without the external mic and camera. So you might want to comment if you guys are hearing me okay and if you can see me. Hi, Comic Don. Just up, I saw you guys up on Z's auction up there. I gotta stay away from auctions. I'm end of the month here. I can't really spend too much more money. Sounds good. Looks good. All right. Thanks, Barry. Thanks for that. In case I want to just probably my iPad will probably do a better job than this. I'll probably test that next. But just seeing if it's going to work out okay. Saw the reports tonight about Diamond going belly up there, not shipping out the comics after this week. So don't know what we're gonna do. I'm sitting on about $200 worth of books that I pre-ordered and paid for already. And I just checked. Discount is getting ready to ship me the last couple weeks, but then after that, I'm not sure what's going to be going on. Digital, yeah, I talked about that earlier. I'm thinking about it. I hate to go all digital, though. I still like getting some of my books in paper. So we'll see. What I'd kind of like to see them do is what Amazon does for CDs. When you buy a CD from Amazon, before you even get the CD in the mail, they stick the digital, they stick the digital version up online for you so you can listen to it. Love to see DC and Marvel do that. You order books from them either directly or through some means, and you get the book when you get the book, but they give you the digital code immediately, and you can go into either Marvel Unlimited or DC Universe and redeem it, and then you can read the book and then get it at some point. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that happen, but don't know. Dog's barking over here. Might have to do some back issues in New Comic Book Day. Well, yeah, if your store is still open, I know all my stores appear closed. Closing as of tomorrow, non-essential. So won't even be able to go down to a New Comic Book Day. And right now the wind's blowing up here. We had 70-degree weather on Friday, and tonight we're getting a snowstorm. So the world is getting all fucking fucked up. Virus and snow. Yeah, I might hop on in a bit too and see if I can do them. Might try one through my iPad and see. I think the iPad might be a better solution, although I'm not sure the iPad I can do StreamYards. I probably can through Chrome. Hey, Comic Don, nice to see you. Just hot. What? How hot is it there in Florida? I'm in Massachusetts. As I said, it was nice here through the weekend, and on Friday it was 70. I even think tomorrow it's gonna be like 55 degrees here, but tonight it's right now it's 35 and snowing. So the weather, along with everything else, is pretty fucked up. Oh, they got a good book up on. I saw some of those Tarantula Atlas Comics. I gotta stay. I'm watching Z over here on the TV while I'm talking to you guys. Like 80, gotta go plug my phone in. Try to stay away from some of the auctions. I got too many things too much money outstanding as it is now. Yeah, I mean, digital. I don't know. I had to make one of these decisions one of these days. Either I'm going to go completely digital or not. But I'm hoping they say, what would make my decision to go completely digital easier? would be if Marvel and DC came out tomorrow and said, remove everything. Fact that you can't get the books from this point on, all digital is 50% off paper cover. So you get the newer books for $2, and what would be two? Well, they wouldn't do 250, I guess. So say for a $5 book, you do it for $2.99. For a $4 book, you do it for $2. And then I might consider going digital, but until the prices are less than what they are now, because I enjoy digital reading. I have a nice iPad Pro 12.9 inch, so it's about the same size as a book, and it's easy to read. It's nice. I can sit in light like this, and I can read. Whereas if I'm reading, I pick up one of my copy, one of my books here, and I try to read it now in the dark. I really couldn't read it, and I can't zoom in on the panels and stuff like that. But there's still something to be said about having a classic comic book in your hands. Hey, Rob, good to see you. I don't know if you guys want to jump in. I can test whether I can actually support. I should be able to do that, because obviously it doesn't matter what laptop you're on. I'm picking up books tomorrow afternoon. If it goes totally digital, I'm out. I don't think it's gonna go totally digital. It might go totally digital for the next few months, but I don't see it'll go totally digital because of this. As I said, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see some sort of a thing where you either buy your books on previews or you buy your books online. And when you buy your books online, it's going to, when the book comes out eventually, you get the book. But until that point, as soon as you buy it and you pay for it, through email, you get a digital code. And then you can go on Marvel Unlimited, or you go on DC Universe, redeem your digital codes and read your books. And then whenever they start shipping them, you get the book in the mail through whoever you bought it through, and you get the book, but you can read it whenever you want with a digital code. That's what they should be doing all the time anyways. This whole bullshit half-assed digital attempt they did, where some of the books, they have a digital code, and then some of the books, they don't have a digital code. Then DC had some digital codes, and they stopped digital codes. It's bullshit. You buy the book, you get a digital code when you buy it, you can redeem it online, you can read the book, and you still get the book. And that way and that's the way it should be, for $4.99 or $5, then you're getting the book and the digital for that price. I mean, none of this, $1 more and you'll get the digital code. That's bullshit. The books are already $5, $4 and $5. Some of them are higher. So I want to see the digital code with the book, And what they can do is this. Okay, digital only guys, you get the book for $2 and you don't get a print copy. But if you're a print guy, you get the book and the digital for cover price. That's a phenomenal solution. And what an idiot like me thought of that in 2 seconds. And these guys are all like, well, we're not sure what to do with digital, and we're not sure how we're going to get our digital service. Come on, just do that. Digital only, $2, digital and book cover price, and you solved all your problems. And I just don't understand why they don't do that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think they're worried about people selling the digital codes, and I'm not stupid. There's a big digital code market out there. If you go to, and that's true with movies too, you go up on Reddit and they got whole channels devoted to digital codes for movies and comic books. So you can go up on new release day and people are selling the digital codes. I don't know how they're going to stop that, or if they even should stop that. Well, yeah, I mean, I can understand they don't want the people selling the digital codes, but I don't know. Maybe tie the digital code. What they could do is they could tie the digital code into your DC Universe and Marvel Unlimited account. So you're the only one that can redeem that code. I don't know. I mean, I think they can come up with something. Where they they can do this digitally as well. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with my books. As I said, nothing is shipped from anybody yet. I have books at Discount Comic Book Service, books at Midtown. They're all in preparations to be shipped, but nothing is shipped. And I got some books, I think at TFAW. I got a couple, not really that much. Yeah, all right, well, I can do that. I can do that. So be watching that backstage for you, Vernon. Don't come on here and wang me or double wang me. But yeah, so it seems like the powers that be are all kind of thinking, what are we going to do here? I was actually kind of surprised they even made a decision Monday. But I guess they figured they already had the books out there in the system at the shop. So I see a door. Hey, I expected you to come through that door, Rob, like old school. Hey, how you doing?
I wish I could have done that. Not quite so dramatic. All I'm doing is working with the computer over here and doing all the CLZing right here.
Now, are you doing that? Are you doing CLZ through your phone?
Yep. One by one by one. Especially considering they have so many goddamn covers when they come to the more recent stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to. I checked into. I have CLZ for the phone, but I checked in. I know Perry does the CLZ. I think the collectors they have a CLZ version for the PC, but that's like $30 extra if you want that. It's not.
I think it's $30 a year if you have the app with the phone and with the computer, and otherwise it's just $15 for the year if you just have it by phone. I'll probably upgrade to the computer as well, but at least for right now, really, this is everything I need to do.
Yeah, well, I like sometimes having it on the.
This is all done.
Yeah,
all that is done. That is where I'm at now, where I am at Daredevil, but now I have Fantastic Four all the way down to Punisher, Secret Wars, all of the independent stuff. So I have a ways to go.
Yeah, I like the CLZ. I did mine a couple months back. I only have 2,000 books, so it took me about a couple days, 2-3 days of continuously scanning, but it worked pretty well. And even if you the older books that don't have barcodes, you can just check off the boxes and very quickly add them all in. So,
I mean, there's only a couple things here for the most part that I even run across that don't have barcodes, but just about anything over the last 20 years or so are all going to have pretty easy ones that I feel like I'm working at Publix.
Yeah, a lot of my 80s books didn't have barcodes.
Yeah, 80s books, you have to go one by one, and certain ones in the CLZ, it'll ask you whether or not you want to go and do newsprint or the direct ones. But it's only for certain issues during a certain time period. Otherwise, the app doesn't care. But I ran across the other night a newsprint or a newsstand version of my ASM from back in 2009, 2010. I have no idea how I wound up getting it, but I'm just scanning one by one by one. And if it comes across something it doesn't recognize, I'll ask you to put it in.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is I have a pretty good collection for the 80s books, a mix of newsstand and, non-newsstand. And I was buying most of my books from shops. So I'm not sure how I even got that mix. But,
yeah, I mean, if I wound up having a newsstand of something, all it just means is that I was probably out at Disneyland or World or whichever the one is down here.
Well, yeah, that's true. And back then too, the bookstores got the newsstands versions, didn't they? I think I bought a lot of stuff at the local bookstore in the area.
And it's surprising, but today people are paying a lot more money for the newsstand of certain things, not all things. I mean, like a Daredevil randomly from 2010, no one cares. ASM, holy crap, people want it.
Yeah, I even have some of those. Remember back in the 80s and early 90s, they did a lot of those polybag books.
Oh, God,
And I'm
yes.
not even sure what those were. Those weren't even newsstands. They were just some kind of a conglomerate of the two.
And we used to think that by keeping it in the poly bags that we're keeping it in better condition.
Now,
When the
those
reality
polybag
is we're keeping it in all these boxes, however much looseness of the poly bag is, it'll just imprint itself right there on the book.
Mhm.
So much for a 9.8.
Hey, God Tank. The link is in the stream there if you want to come on, God Tank. I don't think I've done not sure we've done a stream together or not. Although
I've been on with God Tank before, and in fact, does everybody know who Michael Schmidt is?
well, yeah, he's in the hospital, right?
Yeah, that's something I don't know if everybody from the community is aware of, but he's now on a ventilator. So anybody on Instagram or YouTube, go and throw him a shout out, say hi, sub him up if you haven't already.
Yeah, I guess it's not the corona though. It's just the bad flu or something.
No, it's Corona, all
It is
right.
corona. They did. He didn't say whether it was corona or not.
Yeah, he's on a ventilator. It seemed like a couple days ago he said he's feeling a little bit worse. Then he goes to post some more stuff about some of his Flash issues. And earlier today, I saw something from I'm posting from my hospital bed. And went, Jesus, this is no joke. This is for real.
Oh no, yeah. That's why they were talking today about rushing people back to work just so the economy would be better. Don't think that's a good idea.
If people go back to work, and I mean, seriously, we thought that it was only with elderly people. It's not. It's with everybody. Because if Michael Schmidt, this 25 years old,
Yeah.
is on a damn ventilator right now, it can happen to any of us.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen quite as much, but it happens. So, well, the reason I was looking at the PC,
Possibilities out there.
yeah, no, the piece I was looking at the PC version is I have one of these. I got this when I used to work at the supermarket. It's a good. You can buy these hand scanners almost anywhere, and it works really nice for doing comics. Because what you can do is
Does it really work any better than your phone?
Well, the nice thing about it is this has a little stand here that sits on like this. So I can sit it in its little stand, just zip the comic right under it and click it, and it just scans right in. Now, the phone works pretty quick. You know,
Well, for
the
that,
only downside of the phone is sometimes using that barcode scanner kills your battery pretty quick.
well, right here, well, that's why I have it plugged in.
Okay,
and I have my battery right back here. So people see what I'm working with. So everything's powered into that battery right back there. So otherwise, if I'm ever just sitting right here, you'll just see everything. I can just take this, clamp this right in, and I'm just fully situated, usually with the camera situated right up here. But I'm just watching everybody, and there's my phone.
Yeah, I mean, now that I have them cataloged, it's indispensable because I buy stuff, especially I got stuff coming in the mail. I check it all the time. Did I order this from somebody already? You know, it just, I don't know how I could live without it now.
Before I know, I used to have it a long time ago on an Excel spreadsheet. That does not help very much.
Mm-hmm. No, it's nice to have it in your pocket and ready to go. Although, as I said, I think it'd be nice once you catalog everything. Now, if you catalog it on the phone, I'm assuming if you buy the PC version, you can just download that right into it, I take it.
I think so. I mean, for Mac and a PC, no matter what, it's just going to be online. I don't think it's something that you download on there.
No,
But
that's right, yeah. No, my scanner's not set to stun, God Tank. It's set to kill, baby! You better believe it!
Oh, he was on Z's channel tonight. It's COVID.
Yeah,
praying for him.
Earlier.
Yeah, 104.7 degrees, he said he was.
Yeah, he's still on the auction right now because I got it on the TV over here.
Ooh, woke up with 105 and respiratory issues. Yes. Come on, God Tank, hop on. The pool's nice. All I'm doing is scanning anyhow. It's not like we're going to pick on anyone. Perry?
Yeah, I found it hard when I did mine. Of course, you got too many boxes. I pulled all mine out of the box and scanned them. I did doing my one at a time, man. I always lost my spot.
Oh, I have a certain little process here. I mean, I could take everything and just yank it out like this,
Yeah.
but ultimately, I'll probably have stuff just slide around. And I have just an extra divider here, so I just take each one and take it out, scan it, drop it right in front of this, and this way I keep it in some kind of order. Not a great order, but at least some kind.
Yeah, most of them are scannable. That's the way to do it. Most of my books weren't scannable, so.
Well, that just means that you have probably better books than I do.
No, I got 80s crap, shit, junk. You got much better books than I do.
Crap too.
I got the books that caused the crash.
Ooh, so what? You have all the stuff from Eclipse?
No, I don't have any of those.
Or rather, all the stuff from Eclipse that wasn't Alan Moore and done by Dan Parent?
No, I was pretty much exclusively DC and Marvel back in the day. I wasn't doing too many indies back then. I did a few, but
It's funny, up until just a few years ago, all the stuff that was in Marvel Premiere, Marvel Spotlight, Astonishing Tales, no one gave a crap about it, and all of a sudden, hey, they're making movies of stuff, and these $5 books are now like $100. But not so much anymore.
Yeah, I noticed that Comixology's just added Valiant to the list. They got all the Bloodshot stuff up there.
Yeah, I think that anything that's on Valiant all the way up until 2017 is free anyway. But anything post 2017 when they've rebooted, like I think tomorrow or pretty much today, Diamond, since they're not going to be shipping anything out anymore, books came out today. I know that XL Manowar is on volume 5. So they want to make sure that you read all that other stuff, but not the new stuff. You're going to have to pay for that. Yeah,
the books normally come in, I guess, on Tuesdays, then they sell them on Wednesdays, but I guess they get a dispensation. They can start selling them tomorrow.
Yep, just like last week, if they came in on a Tuesday, Diamond said it's totally okay. You can go ahead, put it on the shelves. We don't want to be held liable, because that's what this entire country is more worried about than anything else. The lawyers, liability, getting sued. So they're like, yeah, put it out. We don't want you to come back on us and say, well, we're going to fine you if you put it out early. No, we kind of don't want the lawsuit, so put it out whenever. We're good with that. Why do you think no one's going to be shipping anything? Because no one's going to be being paid like minimum wage to ship your books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even think my guy closed today, so I don't think he'll be open tomorrow.
I mean, just call ahead. They might wind up either delivering it to you, delivering it to your car. Maybe if you have a certain dollar amount that people are spending.
Yeah, no, I have nothing from him. I don't have a pull from him. I only go to him when I need to fill in books and stuff. All my stuff's in limbo in the mail.
At this point tomorrow, I even told my guy John Freshley over at Max Comics, Frank's Comics, or whatever you want to call it down here, like, I'm at the point where I will go to your house. I will lay cash money on your doorstep and then walk 20 feet away. You can take that money, lay the comics on the doorstep, close the door, and I will pick up the books. I'm that damaged in the head. I know that's a little asinine. We shouldn't be going out, but hey, the president says we're probably going to go back to work on Monday anyhow.
Yeah. No, they didn't. I mean, Mass still hasn't done the old you shouldn't go out thing. You can still travel around, but everything's closed, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, down here in Miami, we have Ron DeSantis, who
Right.
is clearly in the president's camp. So he's like, well, we don't need to shut anything down, really, because people might wind up committing suicide.
Yeah, well, he's got like that guy in Jaws there that wouldn't close the beaches.
That's exactly how it feels like. That's what I've been saying over the weekend on Jig's channel and yours and everyone that I can talk to. It feels like Jaws when we're saying, please shut down the beach. And they're not shutting down the beach. But there's Jaws out there. You just can't see Jaws.
Well, maybe Jaws will take advantage of this little extra eating time.
Well, the thing that I kind of find funny right now is that if you're somebody that is saying the entire time, like in the movie Jaws, there's no problem with a shark is fine. There's nothing we need to do. If you wind up getting eaten by the shark and you can't vote to help people to close the beach or do things to help other people, then it's kind of a certain kind of irony, isn't it?
But we haven't got any definitive answers from the nothing from the independents has come out that about their plans other than they're just going to stop. They haven't talked about digital. No one's really talked about digital law anyway. So I guess
Don Cates had something on his. Go ahead.
It'll be interesting not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, what we see up on Comixology, whether we see stuff for that week that we're not getting and is up there. We'll see.
Well, Donny Cates on his Twitter just the other day said something about what I just saw out of Marvel and DC blew my mind, and then it was pulled down. It was very vague. But if the fact is that he knew that Diamond was going to be closing everything and that's blowing his mind that perhaps everything is going to be digital. And if everything switches all to digital, I'm going to stick to back issues. Only back issues. Maybe a couple books here and there. Like I would love to see the conclusion of Saga from Brian Michael Bond.
Well, I mean, even if you don't want to pay for them, I mean, you'll still be able to get like up on Hoopla and stuff like that. You'll be able to get the books and read them.
Yeah, I want something tangible. I want to be able to go, I have this. This is mine. It's just like my vanity when I'm reading a philosophy book. If I'm reading it on a digital print, how can I prove that I read it? It's like going to the gym.
Well,
I don't post it online. Did I really go?
Well, I know tonight I like this just because it's kind of its taste. I'm reading. I started reading God Country. I haven't read that before, and then
it's so good.
And then Robbie came out up on his stream, and they were talking about what is it here? I went up on when they had it. See, this nice thing. I went up a Murder Falcon.
I have not read that yet.
No, so I pulled down the trade of that for the 8 issues. That's
Isn't that like a heavy metal sort of deal?
Yeah, I don't know. That looked interesting. But that's what I like about digital is you can go up there and grab the book and read it, and then if you like it afterwards, grab the trade or grab the individual issues. I mean, so I'm absolutely not. If it's only digital, I won't read it. I'll read it because I enjoy reading comic books. But
I have stuff I haven't gotten around to yet. I can still read tangible.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't see them abandoning print forever. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to be forever, but for a period of time where this is what I'm more worried about than anything else, that they wind up getting to a point where maybe it's a month, maybe it's a week, probably not going to be a week. Let's just think about a month. Are they going to stagger the releases if they've already been released online for digital, or are they going to all at once in a glut just release everything? Yeah. I mean, are we going to wind up seeing maybe 2 or 3 months worth of stuff, or God forbid, with Jesus, the DC stuff that winds up doing twice a month? Are they just going to drop everything all at once? And
well, what I'm wondering is, I mean, do they even have, like, stores are closed right now, but do they even have the option of doing a print run now? I mean, the printers, I would think, would be closed too. Most of those people aren't printing.
Yeah, Ontario is the largest epicenter of the disease right now. They already came out earlier in the week. Fuck this Monday. They came out earlier today saying that in Canada, that DC, the printers, they're shut down. No more printing after this. Right. We don't know where it stopped. We don't know what the print runs might be on things. We don't know about errors. We don't know about things that might wind up getting leaked out
I
ahead of
mean,
time.
otherwise, you could just say we're just going to do mail order through the shops online, which would kill the local guys. But we could just do mail, but they can't do that because they're not producing the books either. So I don't know.
I'm gonna love the hobby no matter what.
I'm going to say, yes, right now, I'm going to lean towards saying they're not going to release this stuff digitally for stuff that's not coming out in print. That would
how smart would it be for them to release stuff in digital, and then once the print rolls back along to catch up to it, are people still going to be interested in getting those back issues?
That's what I said. I mean, I don't understand, and I don't know if you were watching the beginning when I started talking about this, is why don't they just come up with a situation right now that says, if you can buy the book, you can order the book and buy it in print for full cover for $4.99 or $3.99, and you get the digital code with it for everything across the board. Anybody who wants to be digital only, you can buy the digital code for $2 and you got the digital code. That's it. And then give you the digital code now, send you an email. When you buy it, you pay for it. You get the digital code right now. So if you want to read it, you go and plug in that code to Marvel Unlimited or DC Universe. You read your book. And as soon as that book is available to be shipped, you get the book. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't understand how hard is that to come up and think about something like that.
In a way, they're sort of still cutting out the middleman of the local comic shop.
Well, this is only during that period. This is only during that period. But yeah, I know. Once the problem is, once you do that, you flip the switch, and you can't go back, and that is cutting out the middle. Well, not really though, because how would it work? Well, I guess you would have to do like they do now, except for the print book. For the print book, you get a code like Marvel gives you now. That will be in the book when you buy it. But you do it across the board. You don't have these situations where some books has it, some books don't. You either do it, you don't do it. Either commit to digital or don't commit to digital. Don't do a half-assed measure. It just doesn't make any sense. But that's how they could do that right now. But then they still have to coordinate, because I mean, you have no one source for ordering these things. You have all these different companies. You got previews. You got your local comic book shops. Stuff is so all over the place that it would be hard to really even do that.
Well, the one thing I'm seeing as a positive, because I'm always trying to think a year from now, 5 years from now, 10, 20, 50 years from now. This is going to be a period of time where a lot of the independent books we already know in advance are going to be sent right back to the manufacturer, possibly destroyed, maybe not, don't know. And we're going to see a lot of low-run prints because people will either A, give up the hobby, B, it's going to be really difficult to find those books, and certain people will hoard it like toilet paper, and it could wind up in a landfill, you never know. But I'm seeing that a lot of books that are going to come out over the next, from last week to this week to anything right when shit starts back up all over again. I don't know how many people remember Planetary from John Cassidy and Warren Ellis, but there were long stretches when that book wasn't coming out. There was one point where I think issue 19 took about 2 years before it came back to press, and that book all of a sudden became like a $20 or $30 book almost everywhere because no one could find it. It was just, hey, surprise, we're back. And that might wind up happening again once print returns. So this is just something to keep in people's mind if you're a speculator. Otherwise, if you're just a reader, you're going to be tearing your hair out trying to find certain issues right now.
Well, the other thing they could do too, and this one, of course, would piss everybody off, is they could just do, digital, and then when the print comes back out, just put trade paperbacks out to catch up with the run. Not put out floppies for those.
Would it just be considered like, okay, here's a good example. So say we have Dr. Doom, and I'm just going to grab the last couple issues that I have here. Say we have issues 4, 5, and 6.
Mhm.
How about we just say that no matter what, everyone is just going to have a hole in the run because that is the sacrifice we made. And that will be the trade paperback.
Well, for Doctor Doom, most people wouldn't really mind as much having that hole.
I'm just using it as an example. If you wind up just saying either we're going to start every issue from issue 1, we can now do a full 5G or G5 or however they wanted to say, you could really do a line-wide reboot saying, hey, this is now the new Marvel. This is now the new DC. This is a real new opportunity for both companies if they really wanted to use it. But now was the time to gestate those ideas instead of going, oh, crap, we don't know what to do about our printing. We're going to see some new stuff come out of this that I don't think any of us are really thinking right now, but hopefully a stuff that will be something we'll look forward to instead of going, oh, dear God, what have they done now? All right, start the clock over. It's 0 days since Marvel and DC screwed up.
Yeah, I think it's too many books in midstream though right now that in mid story that they couldn't really do that.
Yeah, I mean, we have that right now with Immortal Hulk. That's right in the dead middle of the story. Saga, that's not happening. Detective, I mean, people could lose a little bit here and there. Same thing maybe with Batman. How about we just start Punchline storyline all over again from scratch?
You kind of feel bad a little bit for, well, not really, but you feel something for Jim Lee, who was kind of a figurehead at DC, and now he's left to in the middle of the shitstorm.
Yeah, I don't envy anybody that is in charge of a company or who just suddenly, within the last month or so, just got foisted into control or command. Jim Lee, he was already in control for the most part, but now he has control of everything. And it's like FDR would say, the buck stops there. If you're the one in charge of everything, just like the damn president, you're in control. The buck stops with you. So now, whatever happens with DC is on Jim Lee's hands. I'm sure he wishes he didn't have that much responsibility. Meanwhile, Dan DiDio went, well, the world was going to go to shit anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the buck stops here isn't really something that's being adhered to today anyway. So, yeah, probably DC wouldn't have fired him if they knew this was coming down the road, would be my guess.
I mean, DiDio,
yeah,
for as much as what people would criticize him for, at least he was steady. We don't know whether he was making great decisions, but at least he was able and capable of making decisions. I'm not seeing much of people right now coming out and saying, this is what we're planning on doing. It's more or less, well, I'm very much enjoying my time at home watching the latest episode of, oh, yep, everything's back on repeat. So I'm just tweeting random stuff. Anybody who's a creator, I'm not really seeing.
Yeah, well, I think what we haven't seen too much either is, Marvel and DC, I'm pretty certain will be able to survive this, but Mad Cave Studios or
IDW on bankruptcy's door,
or some of these small studios only have a Dark Horse. How many titles Dark Horse put out now?
What about this one that just came out, Red Border?
AWA,
yeah, AWS. That they
just put out their first issues, and now probably won't be seeing a second issue out for a while.
It's going to be like Atlas Seaboard all over. Atlas Seaboard all over again.
That's the problem. Will they get bailouts? Or doubtful.
I was just talking with my guy from the LCS, and he was looking into a small business loan, and he's just one guy. I already know from somebody that works in basically all bureaucracies when it comes to school boards and when it comes to law. This is going to be stuff that takes a long period of time to get accomplished. You fill out something today, it's not going to be coming back to you tomorrow. It's going to be coming back to you 2 months from now, 3 months from you. Way too late by that point when people are going to be out of business.
Yeah, for the most
part. How long can people go without a paycheck? Is it going to be a day? That's pretty much where I'm almost at. Some people maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe a
well, the problem is now they want to give money to big corporations and not force them to pay it back. But the little guy, the comic book shop owner, is going to get a loan that he has to pay back. Big difference.
See, that's the thing that people are arguing about inside the Congress that's happened today. They're keep trying to say that it's the Democrats' fault. It's like, they wanted to make sure that McConnell didn't wind up getting $500 billion in a slush fund that he could give to his billion-dollar bankers and all these people that are his lobbyist friends.
Yeah. And they also want to make
go to people like us so we can pay bills.
right.
Rent.
They want to make sure that a certain hotel chain doesn't get it.
That's why they're saying we're going to think about this in 15 days time, and we're going to circle back to that. Are you listening to Dr. Fauci and Dr. Kiblitz or whatever his name is? Are you listening to the doctors? Like, well, I'm listening to them. I'm listening to a lot of people, but we're going to make that decision. It sounds pretty goddamn close that you're saying. Open the beaches to Jaws.
I've kind of noticed Dr. Fauci's been conspicuously absent over the last few days.
Maybe they dropped him out of a helicopter or something out over the Atlantic.
So yeah, well, hopefully they decide on doing something. We should hear more comic book related stuff, I would imagine, over the next week or so.
I mean, I'm seeing the news sites mostly just talking about reviews. I'm not really seeing where the industry could go. Ideas, real futurist thinking should be really all right. So I'm already pretty much aware that if you're a journalist in the comic book industry, you're getting paid nothing. Like colorists get paid better than you. I know that at the New Times magazine that we have down here in Miami, that all of the journalists got their pay cut by 25%. So they're getting 75% of their salaries, and they should be grateful for that, because otherwise the next step is getting fired. Mm-hmm. There's no money left. So now is the time to start having futurist thinking. If there's nothing to report, much like sports, now you can kind of conjecture where things might go. Try and look to a positive, ways to fix things instead of, well, looks like this is the end.
Well, I mean, even in your business, you can't do a trial without people, and you can't have people at a trial if they can't get out. So, and all that stuff.
There's family court where people are getting a divorce, and they still have little Johnny, little Susie, and they're like, well, this son of a bitch might be abusing them. Well, this bitch is keeping them over the weekend when I'm supposed to have custody, so I'm filing an emergency. There's so many emergencies, which they're not emergencies. Mm-hmm. And what do they need? They need a court reporter, so that way if they need to appeal a decision, at least they have a transcript. So no matter what, they're going to need a court reporter, but they could also just as easy go, well, this is my iPhone, and it also has a recorder on it, and hey, we're just going to take the audio from this and just type it out to whatever person that can actually type this. Mm. It's not like my job is that secure.
Yeah, well, the trouble is that you remove the human element from a lot of that stuff, and it's not a good idea, but they don't care if they're saving payroll.
But so long as I'm able to make money, I would say that once things are kind of back on some kind of track and I'm able to start paying taxes, because, that's kind of out of the water now. Once finally things are where I'm making some money again, yeah, I'd say it's some buying opportunities coming up. You might not be able to get Hulk 181 for like a pretty penny, but you'll be able to get other things, like maybe that Nova 1 won't be $120 no more.
Yeah, well, I mean, anybody that's buying comics now would have to think twice about how much of an investment they want to make right now when you don't know if you're going to be able to afford food or any of the other stuff. Right now, comics is kind of a luxury item to a certain degree.
You can't eat a comic book.
You could try.
You can't heat your home in the winter, which is a long time from now, but who knows how long this will last. You can't heat your home with a comic book unless you set it on fire.
Mm-hmm. Of course, it might be good for TP, some of those Valiant books. So
I have a whole box in the other room.
So how many more books do you have to scan, roughly?
So I'm on Deadpool Volume 5 right now, and to be honest, past like Volume 3 that was by Daniel Way, I would just as easily say, hey, take all this away. Just give me a New Mutants 98 and like an 8.0 condition raw. I still have all of those Deadpools to go through. And then it's Doctor Doom, which I still need to read past issue 3. My Doctor Strange stuff.
So what percentage of your library do you have done?
Almost half at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Almost, because this
Now,
whole
are you doing
that's
something
Marvel.
you're absolutely never going to get rid of at first, or
I'm sorry?
are you scanning the stuff that you know is you're never going to get rid of it first, or?
Yeah, which is basically this room. Because a couple weeks ago, when I had to take a week off work because I was losing my mind because I was way overworking, about 18 hours a day, I spent that time breaking up all these boxes into less. I made it so there's more space, so not everything was so just way packed. So I took anything that I didn't want anymore, things that I was planning on selling, move that into my bedroom. So this way I'm like, it's horrible to look at this. It's going to give me some reason to get rid of it. And then the sickness happened. So maybe not sell those for on the dollar right now. Maybe have to hold out a little bit longer, but I still want to get rid of them. But everything that's in here, this all stays. At least as far as I'd like to, that I can, until you can't anymore because, oh my God, I need to eat.
Well, those other books you're going to scan as well. Those are going to get cataloged at some point.
I probably will. My goal is to, by the end of this week, or at least by the end of this thing, which might be the end of the week, is to finish all the way to that last box that you see down there, my signed issue number 1 of Ravage by Stan Lee. That is the issue number 1s and random keys from Marvel DC that I just don't have a place to put right now. I mean, it doesn't have its own thing like Deadpool Volume 3. It would be like a Vengeance number 1. It doesn't quite classify as anything.
I haven't checked. I haven't gotten that deep into the CLZ app because I don't have the books you do. But I mean, does that have a provision in it so you can go back in and make notations on what you have signed and what, special things?
Oh, yeah. Book? Up to and including if you have, once you finally have it tagged in there, you can tag the book itself in your collection. You can mark it whether it's slabbed, what the grade is. You can put grader's notes. You can put in what the variant is if it's a variant of a variant, such as like if, okay, you have one that's a newsstand, but there's nothing that says that it has 2 covers. So you can put in there 2 covers, and then it gives you the option if you want to put your own image. So that way you can take a couple pictures of it just to validate that it exists. And CLZ registers it to go, well, see, somebody actually does have something like this. And it'll add the category later on. There's a lot of things that you can wind up changing inside the app per.
Yeah, I'm just looking at mine. Mine, I have my app unlocked, but I don't do the subscription. Probably because I didn't have that many books like you do that are really worth anything. So
and if you wound up having it, if you had CLZ a couple years ago, you don't have to pay for cataloging all that stuff. All that is you're grandfathered in.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Which I envy you for that. Way to go, man! I wish I would have been smart enough for that.
But it's only $15 a year. That's not terrible anyway. So.
And like I say to other people, if you're hesitating buying CLZ or Key Collector app, if you were the kind of person back in the 90s that was getting Wizard $5 every month, $6 towards the end, really $15 for a year or $20 for it, it's not that much money.
Yeah, I'm not even into speculation, and I think I pay $2 a month for a Key Collector or something.
You'd pay that for a Red Bull at the local convenience.
Yeah, it's $2 a month. I really should buy it yearly and save the money, but yeah, I mean,
you don't have to go, holy shit, I thought I had those $2 in my account.
Right. But yeah, it's definitely nice to have everything cataloged. You can just pull up and look, and you're not buying duplicates. You're not you might You have a lot of duplicates?
Well, this is something I just took a picture of for my Instagram, and the one was given to me about almost a year ago by another attorney who said, "Hey, yeah, I used to collect all these books way back in the 80s and 90s. Do you want them?" Like, yeah, you didn't say sell. Want? I'll take them. And one of the books that was in there was this. It wasn't in the greatest of condition, but he had it. So I wound up filing it, putting it away, and never wrote it down, never put it to any kind of list.
And you forgot you had it, right?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
My LCS, they got in a copy of these two. So when I'm looking at how pretty these are,
Hey, Slim, how's it going?
these are the ASM Carnage Silver Surfer Cosmic Carnage. So I was like, well, if I'm getting these, well, I might as well go ahead and get this. It's on the wall and it's at a good enough price. I get it home, I take the picture, and it wasn't until I'm putting everything away that I go, God damn it.
Oh, you had two copies. And were those copies in better shape than the ones you bought?
No, I paid like at least $20.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, the one that I just got is in much better shape. So I can't complain about that, but it would have been nice not having to repurchase something and probably had that $20 to put towards something else. I mean, there's some things that you know that you have in your collection and some things that, well, hey, maybe it was a whim at one point.
Well, when I was
Like if you went,
scanning mine, I saw stuff that I hadn't seen in probably 20 years. I got that.
like this, if you wound up paying $5 for this, you'll probably know that, oh, well, I probably didn't buy that. Oh, well, I'll pay $50 for that. That sounds reasonable. And then you go, shit, now I have two of them. Luckily, I didn't do it for that.
Well, there's stuff in my collection that I shake my head at. I go, wow, I bought that. I can't believe it.
I have plenty of that. Like when I'm going through all my
What was I
dead
thinking? What was I thinking when I bought that?
Well, then there's ones where I go, okay, did I think that this issue 1 was going to go up? Was somebody talking about it? Did somebody pressure me into buying it? Usually I'm not pressured into buying comic books, but what would lead me to buy this?
Yeah, there's some embarrassing stuff, that's for sure.
Like Amy Fisher. I had the Amy Fisher story.
Oh, yeah, I remember that Amy Fisher story. Yeah, that's a highbrow comic.
Hey, Slim Comics and More. Good to see you if you're still in the chat.
Yeah, Slim just jumped in.
Still bullshitting about the economy of comics.
As it goes. Well, this test has worked out pretty good. Thanks, Rob, for jumping in. I just actually jumped in just to make sure this was working. This is a underpowered 2017 MacBook, one of those 12-inch ones that have the tinfoil processors, but what's that?
What kind of webcam?
It's the webcam that's on it. The crappy.
Oh, okay.
The crappy.
Well, if it helps any. So what I'm using here is an old 2014 Mac Pro. It probably has the exact same amount of processor. The only difference is you can see that this is my secondary backup camera. It's a Logitech C930E. It's the same one that I'm shooting right here on, and this is the kind of quality that I get.
Yeah, I have to invest in some in a good camera. Unfortunately, Macs even today, even like the latest MacBook they just announced, for some reason they still put 720p crappy cameras in their MacBooks.
Yeah, go figure. But then again, at the same time, if we're winding up doing StreamYard or anything that is live, they're just going to tap us out at 720.
Yeah, that's true. And they probably figure most people, if they want a decent camera, they're going to go buy a decent camera. So,
yeah, and this camera isn't that expensive, although right now it's kind of selling out for various reasons, like people telechatting now. Before on Amazon, they were like $60. Now I think they're all sold out. But when they come back into stock, they're worthwhile. It's just plug in and play.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have to invest in some decent webcams. I need at least a couple for multi-angles. Yeah, so
I've got to change the coil. Otherwise, for mics,
uh,
a lot of people wind up using these these blue Yetis, and they cost about $130.
yeah,
What I use is here, I'll take this off. It's a Samson Meteor mic. And the Samson Meteor mic looks kind of like an old RKO sort of thing.
Yeah.
It plugs in with a USB. I put it on a stand. Just the microphone goes for about $59.95 on Amazon. The stand is like $10. I put a little pop filter over it so that way if I get really close to it, I don't blow out the sound.
yeah.
That's why there's a pop.
Yeah, no, the only thing I really need to invest some money in that I've been looking at is some of the lights there. Like you have the LED light there. I need to buy some lighting.
Well, then there's this little problem up there.
Right, yeah, that's bad. I have one of those in the room, but
But there's a way around things. You can always block off lighting.
right.
But for now, I mean, all I'm doing is just talking to you right here as I'm filing books.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this how Comic Con started?
Well, you go and finish cataloging your books there. Thanks for dropping in, Rob. And
Thank you, Scarpad. Everybody at home, but anybody that's a replay viewer, read more comics, donate to your LCS as much as you can, and just hold off on buying those big boy books. You'll have your opportunity soon enough.
yeah, and anybody going out to get the comics tomorrow, New Comic Book Day on Tuesday, stay safe. Hope you get the last books you want, and then we'll see what happens after that. Next Wednesday will be interesting. So, all right, guys.
I'm
All right, we'll catch y'all later. Have a good evening. Stay safe.
Good night.
Hey,